Alright, what you're looking at is this is an ash log, and what I did in order to harvest it the best way, it's about 7.5 feet, and I was able to capture a little bit of crotchwood here. Now, a lot of people don't harvest ash for the crotchwood, but a lot of the times you'll get lucky and there'll be some really nice feeder in the crotch area right there, and it's worth a shot. And if the grain's too interlocked and it's really not really a good wood in there, you can always just cut the crotch off and go with straight lumber, which will make some very nice clear boards. Not a lot of defects on this log. Underneath it there's one cat face and maybe one limb, I believe. This is the firewood that yielded from that tree. It's a good amount of firewood. It's a lot better than burning it on site or just shoving it into a sinkhole and really being wasteful. This is the leftover brush from that tree, which the landowner will be pushing into a large pile at a later date and burn that up. Now, here's the stump left over. Before you start putting the comments on her about look at all that board footage you wasted, here's the deal with this. On the agreement that we have up here, we're leaving the stumps high so the landowner can come back at a later time and push them over and bury them, and that's about the height that he wanted to leave them at. The next thing we're going to do, if I can get in here with the camera shot between this brush, is the ends of this log. I brought some anchor seal with me today from the shop, and I'm going to seal up the ends on this log to prevent any end checking, and not really to prevent it or keep it from occurring. It can still occur without a doubt, but it will really do a good job at trying to fight that from happening. Overall, give you some better boards with less end checking on them after I run them through my Wood-Mizer. What I'm going to do now, I got the camera set up showing the end of this crotch log right here. I've got my anchor seal here. Now, the anchor seal does not come in these large buckets, or else that's how I don't buy it anyway. This is your regular 5-gallon bucket from Lowe's, but I get these Gamma lids right here. And the frame goes around the lid and has a thread on there. You can screw these on and off, which is a lot better than the cheap lids that you get to just pop on and pop off. These don't wear out and they'll last a long time. This one I've had for several years. I buy my anchor seal by the gallon, and then I'll pour it all in here, and this is where I keep it all. And I apply it with just a cheap paintbrush. I get these at the dollar store or wherever. Doesn't really matter what kind of brush you use. But what I do on crotch logs, and I have sawed a lot of crotch logs on my Wood-Mizer, and I've harvested a lot of crotch logs, is I try to really go over both ends and really apply that as thick as I can. This will really will get you some more wood when you go to saw this log. You will have less trimming to do, because you still may have some end checking. Sometimes it's hard to avoid, but with this step right here, you can really fight that from happening. And this stuff, if you guys have never used it before, it dries on clear. You'll never see it on here. And once you saw the wood, and my process is once I air dry it, I then run it through the kiln, this stuff is gone. You put a good liberal coating on here of this stuff, and I will do both ends on this crotch. Both ends. That's really all it takes. It takes a few minutes to do that. Anchor seal is not real expensive, and the return on your value and that and your investment in it is really good. It's no excuse for not doing that step when harvesting your own timber. Alright, moving on. This is the next tree to harvest. This is an oak tree. The diameter breast height on this tree is around 20 inches. There's a lot of defects in this tree. There's a lot of limbs coming out of the main trunk here. It's not really going to be a high dollar tree when looking at harvesting, looking at reselling on the timber. But if sawed correctly and harvested correctly, you can still get some good boards out of a tree like this. And we're going to fell it right about where I'm standing right now behind the camera. And once we fell it, we'll go ahead and get our Spencer tape out and mark our notches, cut up into logs, and harvest the timber. Safely cut her down. Good oak tree here, good oak log. What I did, I took my Spencer tape and I went out and I marked off about 12 and about 4 inches for a 12-foot log off the bottom of this tree. The large end down here is about 20 inches diameter. At the top of that 12-foot log will probably scale down to about 16 inches, I would imagine, off the small end of it. So now we're going to take her chainsaw and de-limb this and cut the log and have it ready to be harvested into lumber. There's a lot of clear wood in this log, and if you take the time on sawing it and position it properly on the bed of your sawmill, you can really saw around a lot of defects here and get some really good clear lumber out of trees like this.